Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special figure showcase we're going to be looking at the 1987 Japanese exclusive figure Soundblaster. What we'll do with this video, we'll have a quick look at him in both of his modes, help you decide how you want to display him. We'll have a look at the accessories that come with him. I'll point out a few things that you need to be aware of if you're after purchasing one for yourself. I've also got a Generation 1 Soundwave to hand as well, so I can show you the main differences between the two figures, because he's not just a straight up redeco. And as I'm lucky enough to have a paid type of packaging, we can have a look at the artwork and of course the battle scene on the back of that. All right, let's just move these out of the way so we can have a quick look at him. And then for the people who are unaware or don't really know much about Japanese Transformers, I know he's obviously had a reissue over the last few years, so people actually know the character. But basically in 1987 in Japan, they were running a cartoon known as the Headmasters. And this was completely different, totally independent to what Sunbow and Hasbro were doing. Because basically, Soundblaster is the reincarnated form of Soundwave. So unfortunately, Soundwave met his match in them cartoons. So for the figure, you've got exactly the same movement. The articulation, you know, in the shoulder joint, the arm will just spin, it'll rotate all the way around. We've got, unfortunately, the very, very loose legs, and of course that is something to be aware of. We've still got that because they all fold down. And these are, of course, die cast exactly the same as Soundwave, so that's what makes the figures and especially the legs nice and loose. As I've mentioned, he's not just a straight redeco of Soundwave though. I'm just going to quickly point out a few things for you. You'll see how loose he is there. I know he's managing to balance. I'm quite lucky that if I position them right, both of these balance. So if we have a look at the buttons, obviously you can see there's gaps in between the play and the rewind. With Soundblaster, it's just one big button. The other thing is the tape cassette can hold two cassettes as well instead of just the one. I'll show you that in much more detail when he's transformed. But you can probably also make out on this, there's some, see there's like some markings. It's like a lovely translucent reddy pink plastic. So you can, and they've put some detail in there as well. So you've got difference there. Or of course Soundwave just had space for one particular tape. Funnily enough, they also had a difference between buzzsaw. This is the Takara, so this is Soundblaster's buzzsaw. And if I bring it to the camera close enough, you can see there's a raised line on the top of his head. See, it's just raised slightly up there. It might not be apparent, but if I get the Hasbro one, you can see that it's just, that's nice and flat. There's nothing raised on it at all. Maybe you can see the difference there. The one in this hand, this is the Takara, it's got the raised line down the middle, and the Hasbro's is flat. And then the other one is on the bottom of the Hasbro one, there's just the rub sign, whereas on the Takara one, and I think this is really cool, and I'll show you in much more detail in a second, there's the rub sign and there is like a pinky sort of coloured of a robot. Now this is Fortress Maximus, and because the tape case cover is like a red translucent plastic, it basically works a bit like a tech spec. It's so cool, it's such a great idea. So when I pop the cassette in a minute, that's like the schematics to how to beat Fortress Maximus, because of course Fortress Maximus was the main Autobot in the Headmasters release of figures and in that cartoon. So that is the figure. As I say, there's not much difference apart from the buttons in the tape case. You can see clearly already that you need to be aware of the fact that he does and they all tend to get really loose joints, and I tend to find the only way I can get him to really balance is by putting the gun behind to counterbalance. So you might have that problem with your Soundwaves. It helps them stand up straight away, no problem whatsoever. It just counterbalances them up. The accessories that come with him were the same as Soundwaves. So you've got two false batteries, shall we say, and the same missiles. The missiles are exactly the same. If I just show you this here, so this is inside the packaging, so the missiles on here are still in the sprue and they're exactly the same. The other interesting thing is you'll notice that buzzsaw comes transformed inside the packaging, not just in his normal tape. So that's interesting, and I think it obviously looks quite nice inside the packaging when he's in there, that you can see him through that window instead of it just being a tape. That's the biggest thing to be aware of with the Soundwaves, with the Soundblasters. It's just they're loose joints. They are very, very loose, and as I said, they've got metal feet, so it didn't really help them. The other thing is the battery cover, and unfortunately I am missing the battery cover on this. This is obviously the original one, so I'm missing the battery cover, and it's exactly the same as what the Soundwave one would be there, but unfortunately this guy hasn't got one. And funnily enough, talking about the accessories and stuff, obviously he comes with another figure, and a good friend and an amazing Transformer collector as well, Marco Solano. He actually refers to this as a gift set, which I suppose it is because it's got 2 Transformers in it. So I've already pointed out to you the difference there with the top of Buzzaw's head. Everything else is the same. Of course, you can now tell as well that you need to be aware of chrome fade on some of the weapons. I'm going to take the weapons off though, because I'm going to obviously show you in a second, if I could do this without damaging them, that's it, how the sticker on the bottom of him works. So if you just bear with me while this comes out, and then I'm going to transform him because I've only got one of these guys. So same transformation process as Soundwave. We're going to pop his hands in there. Oh, I'm scared doing this. Turn his head around, pop him down. Everything cricks and creaks. Fold the arms back as such, fold the toes up. So transformation process is exactly the same, and it all should click in neatly. It's still a brilliant transformation process, and I still love the alternate mode which is there. So okay, unfortunately, again, it looks really good, doesn't it? But unfortunately it doesn't have the battery case at the back, so you can put the weapons in the back when you've got the case, otherwise they'll just fall out. So now if I turn this to the side, you can really see how much the tape deck sticks out, whereas of course normal Soundwave, it's nice and flat, you can't even see it sticking out. So this is, as I say, this is the cool bit. Let me just finish transforming Buzzaw, sliding him in, clicking all the wings in. They don't get much playtime, these toys, to be honest. They just sort of sit there, and I'm lucky enough that this cassette deck actually opens, so I can show you this. There is, in fact, of course, we need to stick Buzzaw up front so you can see him there, and then I've just got an overkill there I'm going to slot in as well, and then these just clip into place. And now if I bring this to the camera, you can just sort of make out there, you can see there's some lines, bit of detail. Yeah, there we go. That's Fortress Maximus, and there is the schematics to him. So that's how to beat the main Autobot. I just think that's a brilliant little added gimmick that they just put with it. It just gives it that extra bit of playability, that extra bit of fun. And yeah, it looks fantastic, doesn't it? As I say, it's pretty much the same toy as Soundwave, but you just got the bonus. You can put your 2 cassettes in. You've got that little bit at the front. Genius. Just another little, I suppose, bonus that the Japanese people put in to their toys. Let's have a look at the box then. So there is the artwork for Soundblaster himself. I've already mentioned that the fact that Buzzsaw was transformed in there. Now the D, for people again who are unaware, stood for Destron, which is Decepticon, and this is 101, so that's his number. We've got, of course, the very simple transformation process there, but the interesting thing, if you have a look, is that's just normal see-through plastic. It's not the translucent pinky or red plastic that is obviously on the toy. We've got the 2 tech specs because there's 2 toys, and then, as I mentioned umpteen times already, that it's part of the Headmaster's range of toys. So there is the Headmaster's battle scene on the back, so you can just about make out that obviously Scorponok was coming in there, but there is Fortress Maximus. But yeah, an amazing toy, amazing toy. I know he's had a reissue. I think it's under the, so they call them the Takara book reissues. I've seen him with that. Obviously he's had a Masterpiece release as well, but yeah, he's not just a redeco of Soundwave. He does have a bit of a retool to him as well. I'm just going to quickly turn him back around as I'm finishing up, and I think for that makes him worthy, as I say, of a separate purchase, because he is a different character. He's not just a redeco. He's got different features, different functions, and yeah, if you've not seen the Japanese cartoons as well, it's definitely worth a nose to see where his origin comes from. I'm just going to quickly finish in this and turn it around as well, and there we go. I know I've not got his hands out. I probably need you to counterbalance him. I'll do that in a second. I just want to tie this video up. So there he is. As I say, he's 1987. He was only released in Japan at that particular time, and again, he's not just a straight up redeco of this guy, but both of them are very, very cool. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped you with your decision if you wanted to get one for yourself. And if you had one when you were lucky, I'm very envious of you, because he's a great toy. Thank you very much for watching, and take care. Thanks for watching. Like and comment, and don't forget to subscribe.